It's such a joy to know that we are like minded people that are all on the journey to get better, to do better, and to keep blessing others, okay? Because whatever we do is not just for us, okay? Whatever we do, yes, it is for us, but after we have been strengthened and after we are strong, just like Jesus told Peter that you will strengthen the church. So, how much more beautiful is that? That when you are strengthened as a parent, then you can strengthen your children. When you're strengthened as a wife, then you can strengthen your husband. When you're strengthened as a husband, you can strengthen your wife. You can strengthen the people around you. Like there's so much inside of us to give, so much inside of us to give. But so many of us have been held in different seasons of our lives and in different zones of our lives where we have been so stagnant and we are not growing. And those of us that have been following this series, that is what we are talking about: growth. Okay, that is what we're talking about, getting better, that Jesus came that we will have life and life in its abundance. Remember, when I use scripture references, I'm not denying the fact that so many people follow me out there, Muslims, Catholics, and I get feedback from all of you. I talk about the Bible personally because that is the book that I read on a daily. So most of the reference that I'm going to have, I'm going to be from the Bible. The Bible is a growth manual. Okay, and I know that so many of us actually read it, or so many of us have come across so many scriptures that talk about growth. And when we talk about growth, this is a thing that has been thrown out around as cliche, but I want us to understand what growth is. We all have a vision, we all have a potential, we all have a destiny that God has created. When the Bible says that before our paths were woven together in the secret places, that He predestined a good future, He predestined an expected end. Okay, so that means He has a plan for us, and that plan is planned to prosper us, is planned for an expected end. It is planned that He will get us from one level to another and to another and to another, and that is growth. That He has come that we will have life and life in its abundance. So if you're not living in the abundance of life, that means there is a growth that we must intentionally go on in order to get to that level. We all have grown, our bodies have grown, our intellect, our knowledge, and we said we must be very, very intentional in order to grow, and our growth must be useful and it must be continuous. For those of you that followed the previous, if you didn't watch it, please find time and make sure that you watch it. When it comes to the promises that guarantee growth, that is where I want us to start, because growth must mean something. Growth must be able to take you somewhere. Now, your growth will be expandable. Okay, I don't want you to ever think that there is a season of your life where you're going to feel like you have arrived. To all of us, to the point of death, it's going to be one thing or another. It's going to be one struggle or another. It's going to be one uphill task or another. It's going to be like a continuous climb. And let me tell you, that is, the joy is not in arriving. The joy is in the process. I don't know how we look at it, but how I look at it is, that is why I am happy, despite the situations around me. Despite the situations around me, because I've grown through situations, I have been through the worst, and I have emerged out of the rubbles. But again, if those situations did not exist, I don't think I would have the experiences that I have right now to help you, to hold your hand. I don't think I would have the language to even help you. I don't think I would have the articulation to even help. I would not. So that means I'm at that diamond or that gold that had to be dusted, that had to go through the fire, that had to go through the panel beating in order to become who I am. And yet I'm not even 1% of who God has wanted me to be. That means I'm on the journey. I'm on my own journey of becoming. But while I grow and while I become, I told God, I'm not going to grow alone. I'm going to hold other people. I'm going to hold those that are hungry, those that are thirsty, those that want better for themselves, those that want to advance, those that want abundance, those that want to thrive in life. If anyone does not want to thrive, I am not your cup of tea. Go away. Do not even bother. But if you are that kind of person that says there is more, there is something more inside of me, you are my kind of person, and I guess I am your kind of person. So I need to hear from you. My numbers are on the screen. Come to my WhatsApp. Come to my WhatsApp. Let's chat. Tell me what's going on. I would love to actually hear from you. So when you talk about the promises that guarantee your growth, okay, that number one is your growth will be expandable. And there's this statement that I put down that I would love to read to us, that sad is the day for any man that he becomes absolutely satisfied with the life that he is living, the thoughts that he is thinking, the deeds that he is doing, when there ceases to be forever beating of the doors of his souls and desires to do something larger, which he knows he was meant and intended to do. Should I read that again? Sad is the day for any man when he becomes absolutely satisfied with the life that he is living, with the thoughts that he is thinking, with the deeds that he is doing, when there ceases to be forever beating at the doors of his souls a desire to do something larger, which he knows he was meant and intended to do. Our growth must be expandable. We must be able, as in at the doors of our souls, there must be a constant beat, not even beating, but a thumping that is in rhythm, that is out of rhythm, that is daily, that is hourly, that is per minute, that is per second, that reminds you this is not it. You have not arrived. There is something bigger. There is something more. There are more people to help. When people ask me, why did you create accelerated mentorship? Weren't you creating competition for yourself? I train coaches, I train speakers, and they're doing a phenomenal job, When I talk about the people that I have trained, my goodness, I even get goosebumps on my body. The things that they're doing out there, they are taking the markets by a storm. Is that my competition? No. God gifted us differently. I am only calling out the greatness, reminding them of what is inside of them, nurturing it, praying over it, teaching it, equipping it, giving it tools, giving it language, giving it articulation, stirring up their visions, their faith, to believe that there is something big on the inside of them. And let me tell you, they are the giants out there. They are doing so well, doing the work that they were intended to do and that was meant for them to do. Because I'm alone, I can't reach the ends of the world. I can't reach, even if it's just Uganda, I can't reach the whole of Uganda. But there's so many Muslims in my mentorship. There's so many Catholics in my mentorship. There's so many Orthodox. There's so many even, people that are totally disconnected from any kind of religion. People of different political affiliations. They are all in my mentorship. And let me tell you, when we hold hands and pray, I am backed by the heavens. And they will sit, they will listen, they will execute, they will do everything that they're supposed to do. The kind of hunger and the kind of thirst that I see in these people, I'm like, my goodness. Why did I get so lucky to even mentor such people in the world? So when I say that your growth will be expandable, my growth was not meant to be Bahati, the one that is hosted on TV, the one that speaks, the one that writes books, the one that coaches, the one that is in therapy with marrieds, the one that is, I wasn't created to be all sufficient and all knowing and doing everything. No, I wasn't. So through my mentorship, my growth is expandable. Through the kind of work that you're going to do, the kind of a mission that you're going to possess, the kind of value that you're going to give, your growth is going to be expandable. That is why I don't want this sad day to happen to you when you become absolutely satisfied. I should have said, oh, I'm a coach and I'm done, and I train, I'm an executive trainer, and I'm all these things, so I'm just that is it for me. No, that was not it for me. When I reached that bump, I knew that there was scaling, there was something more for me, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to create an army of people that are radical, an army of people that are go-getters, that are world changers, that are transformers, that are gladiators, that are willing to be on the front line fighting for people in mental health, in marriage, in relationships, in child care, in businesses. And let me tell you, it is beautiful to watch, because your growth is going to be expandable. Number 2 is your growth is going to be fruitful. Like fruitful. The plants that you're planting now, you will harvest later. The plants. I've told you so many times of how Tim used to tell me that, you see what you're doing right now? The results are going to come 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And indeed, true to God's word and true to what Tim told me. It was like, I started seeing the results. And he was like, it's because you didn't stop doing. It's because you were consistently doing this thing. You showed up every day. You keep doing. And what I am doing right now tells me of what's going to happen 10 years, 5 years from now. Because if I do not give up, just like the Bible says that if I do not grow weary of doing good, if I do not grow weary of doing good. So your growth is going to be fruitful. It will be fruitful financially. It will be fruitful in when it comes to your own growth, and your own happiness and your own joy and your own fulfillment and your satisfaction. It will be fruitful to the so many people whose hands you're going to hold, the orphans that you're going to help go through school, the hungry that you're going to feed. The moment you get into the growth zone, a lot of things are actually going to happen. So your growth, is going to be fruitful, and whatever you plant right now is actually going to sprout. So plant, even when you don't feel like planting. Do the work. Even when you don't feel like doing the work. Open that shop, even when you don't feel like opening it. Go to the company, go to the organization, sit in that office, hold those meetings, even when you don't want to hold those meetings. Pray, even when you don't feel like praying. Fast, even when you don't feel like fasting. If you do not grow weary of doing good, there is a reward. There is a reward. Okay? And then, by their fruit, you will recognize them. You're going to be recognizable. You're going to be recognizable, because of the fruit. A person that is fruitless, when you see them, like, you want nothing with them. You remember Jesus and the fig tree? And when he found, he expected that, by the time this fig tree looks like this, it has all these leaves and it is this height and definitely it has some fruits. And when he gets to it and it does not have any fruits, what did he do? He cast it. And the Bible says that it dried immediately. Let me tell you, a life without fruits is a life that is so disappointing. Disappointing to your children, disappointing to your husband, disappointing to your wife, disappointing to your fiancé, disappointing to your girlfriend, boyfriend, disappointing to your boss. Yes, it is disappointing to yourself. A life that is fruitless is so disappointing. Like everyone wants to be away from people that are not fruitful. It's only the Bahatis of this world that are called into activating people's gifts, even when they are fruitless, and they walk into my life. I have a magic touch because I've been on a growth journey of my own. I've gone through the experiences. My story has not been wasted. So I know that God cannot waste anyone's story. Even when they're in a state of stalling. We talked about stalling, the growth zones last time. We talked even when they're in a state of stalling, even when they have given up, they have checked out, they have chickened out, they have given up. He does not give. So I'm not giving up on that person. But I will tell you that season is very, very disappointing. And I don't think that anyone actually wants to be in that season. So I want us to run very quickly and go. And then let me just share this lastly, that your growth is going to be beautiful. It's just going to be beautiful. Let me tell you, growth is beautiful. I've seen people, and I usually joke about this with my mentees. When they join, I usually look at them when they send me the pictures and, and they send me their names and they send me, because must take their biodata, and they send me their pictures, the way they sign up and the way they end or finish the mentorship, like they are totally different people, like different people. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, what happened? What happened? The way they start shooting videos at the beginning and the way they end the mentorship, or the way they grow out there. And you're like, is this the same person? How is it even possible? And I've told it to their faces. I'm like, of course in a joking manner. And sometimes they even give me the testimonials themselves at graduations, at what, and they're like, coach, the way I came into this mentorship, like I was disgusted, I was discouraged about my own life, I was giving up, I was just, and then I listened to you every day, even when I didn't feel like listening to you. I logged on to the live classes, I came for the live classes, as in I pushed myself. And let me tell you, that pushing and the kind of work that I have done, before you know it, their skin looks different. It is glowing. There is a way that the skin becomes brighter. When you get out of stalling, when you get out of costing, when you get out of, the rubbles, there is a way you become a totally different. The way you put on is different. The way you speak, the way you smile. And let me tell you, there are people that believe, they have a spirit of rejection because they're being rejected everywhere. They're being rejected. Let me tell you, fall into the hands, the magic hands, not even the magic hands, but the godly hands of Bahati, and you will see what God will mold you into, because I believe there is a lot more inside of you. The devil has fought you, and he's fighting one thing, he's fighting your destiny, because he knows you're more anointed, more called. You are called, okay? And he knows that there is a lot, you are just a dynamite in the making, and so he's beating you up and thumping you up so that you will give up so easily. But this is not time for you to give up. This is time for you to recalibrate your growth, and this is time for you to look for a community of like-minded people that are building legacies, that are building empires, that are not stopping at nothing, that they're unstoppable, because your growth is going to be beautiful. It is going to be beautiful. All right, so last time we talked about, we are still talking about, it's the same, we are still in the same spirit of what we are talking about, growth, but I just wanted us to talk about comfort zone today. I wanted us to talk about the comfort zone, because so many people are living in the comfort zone. And I put it down here and say that I do what I already know to do. Remember, in the costing, you don't do what you used to do. There's something that you used to do. There was a fire in you. There was an enthusiasm in you. There was an ambition in you. There was, the active, the proactivity, the creativity, the everything. Okay. Now, in the comfort zone, I do what I already know to do. This is where many high-functioning but underachieving people live. Their productivity, there is productivity in their life, but there is no progress. There is, you're just maintaining, you're not multiplying. It's safe, it's predictable, and deceptively dangerous. Yeah, remember, I told you, we need to be able to find where we belong. So, where do you belong? Are you costing, or are you in the comfort zone? I will tell you, so many high achievers are in the comfort zone. They are doing what they already know what to do. And so it becomes a vicious cycle of not getting the same results. No, because if you're earning the same money that you used to earn 5 years ago, it's not the same value. It is not the same value. Even if you earned it last year, it is not the same value. Because it's possible last year you would pay your rent, you'd pay your medical bills, you'd pay your transport, but this year it's possible that money can only afford rent, because chances are your landlord increased the money. And so you need more money to be able to juggle the life that you need to live in a month. So you see, if money cannot retain value for a full year, for 2 years, for 3 years, that means so many things are volatile. So many things are volatile. There is unpredictability in what's going to actually happen. So now, if you're still earning the same, if you're still doing the same things, the way you used to do them, you're saying, if it's not broken, I don't need to fix it. I don't need to reinvent. Let me just continue doing the same thing. For example, you had a corner shop somewhere, a corner grocery shop, and you're still, yes, it was an amazing thing back then. Everyone would be like, oh, she's the rich, or he is wealthy. By the time you own that kind of shop, have you seen the kinds of shops people are opening up these days? And not even just the shops. Have you seen the online stores? And what kind of convenience they are offering to people? They are delivering things left, right, and center. You click and add to cart, a nail cutter, soap, food, like call it, and they'll be delivered to your footstep. And you're counting on people to walk to your grocery shop without you being on social media, because you're like, social media is for the Gen Zs. No, social media is not for the Gen Zs. It's for everyone. Jump on, learn, get a skill, try it out. It will not bite. Yeah. So you realize that the people in the comfort zone are like, I'm going to do everything that I've always done. Just look at so many ministries. Just look at so many speakers, so many coaches. Just look at so many businesses, as in so many homes. Yeah? As in it becomes routine. You do only because you are comfortable, you are used to it, and so you just don't want to break camp. You just don't want to do anything different. You don't want to bother. You don't want anyone to disturb you. It worked then, and you're so much hoping that it works now. But I hate to disappoint you. It's not going to work. You need to break camp. You need to reinvent the way. You need to do something different or upgrade it. Even if it's not reinvention, but you need to upgrade it. Okay? So here you need to be able to progress, not just productivity, but progress. Okay? You need to be able to multiply, not just maintain, but multiply. Can you multiply the money? Can you multiply the numbers? Can you, whatever it is that means growth in your life, can you be able to multiply it and not just stay in the predictable things? Because when I do this, this is what I get. I don't know if I increase this, it might be a risk. Everything is a risk. Growth is a risk. Okay, so we are still explaining the people that are in the comfort zone. Let's go to the characteristics, because I know that you need to be able to find out where you lie. Operating at 50-60% capacity. That is it. You know it in your heart, if you're very honest. Because remember, I told you that this conversation requires us to be very honest with ourselves and say, you know what, I think I have been at average for the very longest time. Because what was the in thing and on vogue and, the greatest thing right now is no longer the greatest thing. Okay, so I cannot just operate at 50 and 60 and think that I'm actually maximizing. There's 100, there's, even more than 100. So I need to be able, when you talk about percentages, there's someone who's at 80. What are they doing? They push themselves a little harder. They push themselves in the unknown zones. Okay, they push themselves beyond the horizon, and they were like, you know what? Let me just trust that life will be better. Let me just trust that something good can come out of it. Let me just trust. But if they had to close their eyes, they're like, let me close my eyes and then open my eyes after I have arrived, and all of a sudden they actually landed in a good place. Okay, so operating at 50 and 60%, ask yourself, is this the maximum? Is this where I want to be for the rest of the year? Or I can actually change something. And then saying yes only to familiar opportunities. They don't want anything that is not familiar. You ask for anything outside the scope of familiarity, they are not taking it. Yeah, so they want to operate the way how they're actually becoming a Jesus of some sort, because then he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so for most of the people in the comfort zone, they are the same yesterday, today, and forever. You are a wife that never wants to change on anything. The way you cook is the way you cook. The way you cooked is the way you're cooking, and is the way forever you will cook. No, there is such a thing there is such a thing like upgrading of recipes, of trying out new menus, of making your bed different. You can change your chairs, you can change your bed, but you've been in the same house and it looks the same. Like for the past 10 years, The bed is where it is. The couches are where they are. Like everything is where it used to be. You're still putting on the same kinds of clothes. You're still, as in the same kind of perfume, the same. I know some people really like for things to be predictable. But I will tell you, you have created a comfort zone and you've started worshiping your comfort zone, and there's nothing good that is going to come out of that comfort zone. The times are changing, days are changing. You know, if not, God would have left us in one season of our lives, or in the same year of our lives, or in the, whatever it is. But other things are changing. You are the constant. You are the constant. Can we let Jesus be the constant? Can we let God be the constant? His love that lasts and endures forevermore. His faithfulness that is new every morning. Can we let God be the constant? Can we be fluid? Can we change? Can we grow? Can we become better? Yeah, because there is always something better. There is always something better. There is always a higher hill with a better view. Yeah, there's always a higher hill with a better view. So while you're still on a low hill, you're like, I'm used to this. I will come back to this. So you keep coming back to that. And it becomes so pathetic. And, you know, your soul longs for more. Your soul longs for freedom. Your soul wants to live. Your soul wants to participate. Your soul wants to be radiant. Your soul demands for more. So grow. Okay? Let's get out of the comfort zone. So we keep saying yes to familiar, and then fear of rejection or looking incompetent. You're like, what if I try a new thing and it just doesn't work? What if I send this proposal and people just don't say yes? What if I... So the beauty with people that are just starting from scratch, there is an amount of fearlessness that carries them. They're like, to whoever it may concern, I will just, you know, I will shoot my shot. I will try. And some of them have tried and things have actually, you know, caught up. They have worked out. Okay, so fear of rejection. You're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to try that because what if it fails? So these people, you look at them as high achievers, and maybe people have looked at you as a high achiever for a very long time. You're a minister, you are an artist, you whatever it is that you are, because growth applies to all of us. It applies to all of us. Okay, so you have to realize and admit that, you know what, this is a comfort zone, and I think I need to get out of this comfort zone. I need to make a way out of this comfort zone. All right, and then over planning and acting. Yeah, that's exactly. You plan a lot and there's nothing that you're actually doing. You are part of the people that we're talking about that is in comfort. And then there is hidden pride in not failing, because I just don't want other people, you know, others are amateurs, others are beginners, others are what? You're nicknaming everyone, and then there is a pride in you that feels like you are the great one, but again, you're not multiplying, you're not advancing, you're not, as in, life is just not happening the way it should happen. But you're settled. You are settled because you don't want anything that shocks you out of your comfort, and yet you are not comfortable. Now, the other thing about comfort zone is we are never comfortable, because this world is moving at a very fast rate. And I want you to be very honest with me. And I'm speaking to people right now that feel that you stopped growing, and the people that are coming under you are actually catching up with you and overtaking you, and you feel you loathe them, and you feel angry towards them, and you feel all sorts of feelings inside of you, and yet you want to deny what you feel. I want you to be very honest with yourself, because there's so many things that can be done, but one of them is to be able to pray and ask God, how do I break camp and how do I make it out of here, because I can't be here for the rest of my life, because there is no stagnation. There's only going down and there's only going up. And I told us that when you're going down, gravity is working on you. And gravity is actually, gravity, no one measures gravity. Gravity just does its job. It's pulling you down at a very terrific speed. So I need you to be very, very honest with yourself and say, you know what? I think I need to be able to have a reinvention kind of strategy. And we can come up with that. Just get to my WhatsApp and tell me that that, you know what, I need to reinvent myself. I need to be able to, let's talk about your visions. Let's talk about your dreams. Let's talk about the new dreams that you fear, because you dreamt this level where you are, and now you feel like you don't have the clarity of even dreaming bigger. You feel like there's nothing more than where I have. I hate to disappoint you, but there's something more than where you are. There's something better. There's something bigger. There's a better view of life, okay? Then so you have convinced yourself that this is it, but this is not it. It is not even close to it, okay? So if you want to get into my reinvention strategy, make sure that you get into my WhatsApp. Let's talk about it. Let's take away the hidden pride, because what does the Bible talk about pride? That pride precedes the fall. It goes before the fall. So that means as your pride is increasing, your fall is near, and there's nowhere where you cannot do anything about it. Why? Because we talked about the falling. It is the gravity that pulls you down. Okay, so if you want to be able to go from where you are and go on upwards, that means you need to be jump started, and then you need to be able to rekindle. You need to recalibrate. You need to find your ambition. You need to find your creativity. You need to be able to just get out of that zone, okay? So the comfort zone is what you're talking about, and the hidden pride is something that is killing so many people. They look at people, and when you have pride, you're judging everyone. Half the time, you're looking at them and you're thinking, this is not it. They're not doing it well. They're not doing it. But remember, as you judge others, all the 4 other fingers are pointed back at you, and they are telling you the joke is on you. The joke is on you. You're pointing at others how they are not singing so well, but they are in practice. They are innovative. They are proactive. They are ambitious. They are trying to get from where they are to the next level. What are you doing? Yeah. We know that you attained a certain status and it created comfort for you, but it is going to come down. It is bound to come down. If you don't wake up, yeah, it's going to take you down. All right. So let's talk about why people stay here for long, because comfort equals to control. Comfort is more like power. It's more like, I know everything that I know everything here. So it's like when you're in the house and you don't change anything. You don't change your bed, you don't change your couches, you don't change anything. It's like you're staying in the same place. Even if someone came and just placed you at the door and closed your eyes, you would just go, you know everything in the house. So that's like control. So this is what I have done, and this is how I know to do it. Guys, the world is evolving at a very terrific speed. The technology, social media, things are changing day and night. If you still do the same thing that you used to do 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you're thinking it's going to cut it, it's not going to cut it. So quit the comfort, okay? Quit the comfort and plug into growth. Plug into it. Is very possible. You can still reinvent. So most people, comfort equals to control, and then fear of criticism. They will say, but the whole who. You're not putting money into my pocket. You're not, like, there's nothing. You don't feed me. So how do I give you the right to criticize my life? A critique. At best, they can only critique. They can never do anything else. So now, if that is going to hinder you from growth, if that is going to hinder you from re-engaging in your ambition and chasing your purpose, then woe unto you. Then you are doomed. That means other people control your destiny. That means they have more right over your life than you do have over your life. How about that? Does that make you happy? Does that make you smile? Ask yourself the right questions. So fear of criticism, and then success in the past becomes like a prison. Oh, they attained a certain level of success, or they got some money in the past, and they think everyone is just going to keep worshiping at their feet. Oh, you know, so and so, you know, so. Let me tell you. And this is going to sound so weird, and some of you are going to hate me. But hate me all you want. I'm here as a messenger. And I'm not going to say, oh, don't stone the messenger. It's okay. You can stone the messenger. Come find me at my office. Yeah? Let me tell you. When you bask in the glory of the past, or the success of the past becomes a prison, you tend to look worse than you looked before you even attained that glory or that success. You tend to look, because ogenda kuba n'entondo kantu katono nnyo kagenda kunyiiza. Have you people that are basking in the old glory? They don't want to be told anything. They don't want anyone that is giving them of something of value. They are always measuring and weighing it out. What exactly are they going to tell me? They're inviting you for a webinar and they're like, but what are they going to say that I don't already know? If you knew it, you will be in a much better place. So what you think, they're not going to tell you new things. Everyone that is going to create a webinar, go invite you for an event or whatever it is, they are going to tell you the same things. There is nothing new under the sun. That's what Solomon said. But the application, the reinvention, the hunger that is tied up inside of you, the wanting better that is tied up inside of you, that's what matters. So when you see a person that still says, but you know, I had this and then I had this, they sound more pathetic than a person that has nothing in life. Because then you're like, so should we clap for you? Should we praise you? Like, what do you want us to do? And let me tell you, this world is not fair. It is not fair at all. Yeah? People will forget you. People will walk away from you. People will mind their business. Let me tell you, there is nothing that is more attractive than growth in life. There is nothing more attractive. Hear me and hear me well. If there is anything wrong happening in your life, something you do not want to happen, something that is bothering you, grow and just be quiet. Everything is going to take itself back. It's going to be like a puzzle that has been filled. Growth attracts happiness. Growth attracts joy. Growth attracts opportunities. Growth attracts so many more growth. Okay, so and let's just look at very quickly Matthew 25:24. The servant who hid his talent in because of fear. Yeah. Because I was like, you know what, this master, so let me just get this one called talent and just bury it. You will find it the way it is. And that is what most of us are actually doing. And Philippians 3:13 says that forgetting what is behind and pressing on towards the goal. Forget the money you made yesterday. Forget the companies you opened yesterday. Forget whatever it is that you did. What are you doing now? That means it says that pressing on towards the goal. Pressing on means stretching. Pressing on means growth. Pressing on means being equipped for today and for the journey ahead of us. That is, pressing means you're intentional. Pressing means that you have decided this is what you want to do. You want to get better, you want to grow, and you want to be. And let me tell you, growth keeps you younger. It keeps you more, it keeps you better. You know, remember I told you, your growth will be expandable, your growth will be fruitful, and your growth will be beautiful. Beautiful. So here it says that you know, forgetting what is behind and press on. I press on toward the goal. I want you to tell that to yourself. Write it down if you must write it. I press on towards the goal. I press on towards the goal. We are allowed to change goalposts. If you think you set it too near, you can set it further. If you think you'd set, you know, you wanted a certain financial breakthrough, but you think you marked less money, you can mark bigger monies. Whatever it is, if you thought and said, you know what, I'm going to, you know, open this business, you can still set an agenda of opening up multiple businesses. If you thought, whatever it is, that, oh, I'm just going to get into a marriage because everyone is in a marriage, you can set that goal high and say, I'm going to be happy in my marriage, I'm going to serve God in my marriage, and I'm going to create an example that my children will walk by for the rest of their lives. You can still set the goal higher. Okay, so I need you to forget what is behind and press on towards the goal. Hebrews 11:8 says Abraham left the familiar by faith when he was told, go to the land that I will show you. That was going to stretch him because he was used to the same surrounding. He was doing the same things, and so something needed to be done. And when God told him, go to the land I will show you, his was obedience. Now for some of us that are going to get out of comfort zone, it's going to be total surrender. It is going to say, God, I don't know what I am doing, but I know that you're working inside of me, and I know you have a plan for me, and I know that you say you want my growth to be to be useful, you want my growth to be intentional, you want my growth to do something in people. Please help me find the way, guide me, show me. And let me tell you, God is faithful, very short, very faithful. He is actually going to show you. So when he left the familia, okay, you remember he took instruction time by time, that even when he took his brother Lot with him, and his cousin, and then when they got somewhere and they had to fight over the land, and Lot's servants were wanted the better land and all, and Abraham should have said, oh, I am the one who was sent here, I just brought you, you tagged along, I just you just came along, you came to escort me. No. And God told him that, what, let him choose. And after he chooses, but what ended up happening, that the land that actually Abraham took, became more fertile, and he multiplied, and he things were bigger. So it's not about where you're positioned, it's not about what has happened in your life. Our God is a God of redemption, and the redemption is not just a second chance. He's a God that can give you a fifth chance, a 10th chance, for only if you can fall in his presence and tell him that, what, I've been filled with pride, and I had stayed content for the longest time, but I feel, and I know it in my heart honestly, that this is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in a totally different place. Okay, so how do you move forward? Let's just come to the conclusion of this. How do you move forward? Stretch daily. Commit to doing one thing you're not good at every day. One thing that you're not good at. That means you're doing the hard things. You're not doing the familiar things, because you've been doing them every day. So, and that is what has made you stay in this comfort zone for the longest time. So you need to be able to do something that you're uncomfortable with every day. Choose one task that you can be able to work on. Choose another task that you can work on. After completing that, choose another task. But daily, you must be able to stretch. And that is where I created the 100 days. 100 days of growth, 100 days of quantum leap, 100 days of stretching, 100 days that are bringing you closer to the vision, to the life that you envisioned, and the life that God prepared for you, a life of abundance. Okay, not just a life, but a life of abundance. Okay, so that is where the daily stretches, the reminding you, the mindset shifts, the prompts that you need to do something, the reminders, that is all happening in the 100 days. And I believe that it's going to be quite life-changing. So if you need to get into the 100 days of growth and stretching, of finishing what you started, of starting even while you're still gripped by fear but doing it afraid, let's sign up, let's join in. My WhatsApp number is just on your screen. Make sure that you just send me a message and say 100 days, and let me assure you, we're just going to take it on from there. There's going to be a lot of taking off, a lot of skyrocketing of dreams, and skyrocketing of the things that we are doing. So let's stretch daily. Number 2, submit to growth seasons. Get mentored, get corrected. You cannot grow in isolation. You have to be mentored, you have to be corrected, and you can only get that from like-minded groups, where you all have the same visions, you're running to the same race, and you're challenging yourselves to actually get there. So submit to growth, because when you're in the comfort zone, remember, you are a high achiever. So you're used to being answerable to yourself. You don't want any changes. Everyone is your subordinate. You look at yourself with a lot of arrogance and a lot of pride, and you feel like you're pumping your chest like you are the best that exists in the world. It takes humility. It takes you, if you want to move out of the comfort zone, it takes you submitting to growth and saying, I am ready. I want this. I want to pay the price. I want to wake up every day and feel alive. I want to wake up every day and do something that is challenging. I want to wake up every day, and before you know it, you are where you actually want to get. So submit to growth seasons, and then serve outside your circle Growth lives in discomfort. Do not do the things that are familiar. Just stick to people that are familiar. Just like everything that is familiar, you have to be able to stretch beyond the horizon, beyond your circles, beyond the people that you know. And let me tell you, growth actually is much more sweeter when you're growing with people that you even you don't know. They're outside of your circle. They're challenging you, and they don't know what has happened in your life, but they are there wholeheartedly to make sure that they vouch for you, they push you, they encourage you, and they pray with you, and they need you, such kind of thing. So serve outside your circle. Growth lives in discomfort. And then ask God for courage. Boldness isn't natural, it is spiritual. Boldness is something, boldness and certainty. When you have the certainty of whatever I touch turns into gold. When you have the certainty of whatever business I start, it is going to flourish. When you have the certainty, the boldness is not even a natural thing. We're not born with boldness, but we can acquire boldness along the way because of the situations that we go through, and they train us different, and all of a sudden you're able to renew your mind. Remember, we are talking about the different zones that we are in, and for those of you that are just joining us, we talked about the coasting season. And the coasting season, just for those of you that have not yet gone to watch, we said is where it's characterized with people that say, I even do what I have done before. You used to do good, but all of a sudden you're no longer doing good. And we said that its characteristics is low energy, and little or to nothing, no initiative at all, living in the past glory. Excuses are so many, more than even the actions. And then you fear disappointing people, and then you lack faith totally. So you realize that these are totally different things. Being in a coasting season is totally different from being in a comfort season. But I know that you have found yourself. Now that we have gone through this, you have found yourself, and you're saying, I'm that high achiever that never multiplies, that is never moving an inch, that is just stunted and stagnant, and I feel like it's just not going to turn out good for me. I feel like I'm, because after some time you'll start asking yourself whether you are even useful to the world. But remember, we said that your growth must be useful to the world. Yeah, it must be beautiful. It must be continuous. Okay, so I need you to know that some of the things that you are actually facing are things that other people are facing in the world. Submit to growth. Okay, submit to growth. Do not just feel like you are entitled. Do not just feel like there's nothing more I can do with that. Just make sure that you submit to growth. Stretch daily. That is the best. Stretch daily. Make sure that you commit to doing one thing that you have not done on a daily. Because when you start doing something that you have not done before, that it's stretching you. Your brain is not going to go back to being the same. That means you have found another way of conquering it. And then you find another way of conquering. And then you find another thing to conquer about a different thing. Then life becomes beautiful. It becomes pumped up. It becomes, with a lot of enthusiasm. Like you want to wake up every day like the world is waiting for you. And indeed, the world is waiting for you. Okay? So I need you to take seriously if you are in the comfort zone and you've been in the comfort zone for so long. Do not be like the servant that hid the talents. No, do not that. All I need you to do is forget what has happened or what is behind and press on towards the goal. The goal is happiness. The goal is our vision. The goal is, growth. The goal is that we'll be better than we are today. The goal is very clear. Okay, so you are pressing on towards the goal, and so you should do that wholeheartedly. You forget and then do something wholeheartedly. Okay, we don't want any form of distractions. No, we are counting on the fact that this is the right season. We had to get this word, and this word is going to move you from where you are to where you want to be. Remember, because that is what growth is, moving from where you are to where you want to be. That means you're being very intentional. You're saying, you know what, this is not where I want to be. I want to be in a totally different place. And then you plan for it, you engage the actions, and you keep doing what you need to do in order to get to where you want to be able to get. Okay, and I think Hebrews reminded us of Abraham, and what was when he left the familiar, and there's so many people in the Bible that are talked about in the same accord. So I don't want you to just bask in the glory of the past and fear criticism and what people people are saying and what they are not saying. I need you to to laser focus on growth, laser focus on how beautiful this journey is going to be, laser focus on the outcomes, laser focus on the fruit, laser focus on what you can be able to do. So comfort zone is a killer. You were not created to be in the comfort zone. You were created to be, in the deep waters, swimming with the big, sharks and dolphins. You belong in greatness, okay? And so many times we keep limiting ourselves because of these zones, and because of the things that we go through. When you are depressed, when you are stressed, it's so easy for you to rotate around the same thing again and again and again. And it's so easy for you to make excuses and to not grow and to stay in your comfort zone. So whether you're healthy, whether you're facing mental health issues, I need you to know that it is within your power. This is very, you can be able to change into the next level of growth, into a next level of the zones that we talked about. You can get out of being passive about your own life. You can get out of just basking in the old glory, and you can fully engage, okay? You can fully get challenged, you can fully become better, and you can help so many people, okay? So I need us to understand that this growth is not automatic. It is not automatic. But I would want you to tag 10 people that you think should be able to watch this and send it to them. The only way we can have more eyes on transformation, the only way we can have more visibility as far as growth is concerned, is if you can invite your friend and invite your friends to come and join us. And even for the 100 days with Bahati, where we are going to be finishing what we started and doing the things that we need to be able to do in this season to reinvent ourselves and to reposition ourselves for opportunities and the things that we need to do. I need you to invite 10 people as well. Tell them about this. Let them come to my WhatsApp. Let's talk. Let's chat. I believe that we can be able to grow together. The accelerated mentorship is open. Yeah. So make sure that you use that chance. If you're the kind that wants to become a leader, become a coach, become a speaker, become a therapist, become actually a counselor, or to become a consultant, or a business person that wants to grow, create a personal brand and be able to push their message out there, accelerated mentorship is available. So make sure that you actually utilize it, take use of it, and enroll. Let's talk about how you can be supported. I am here to support you. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to love on you. I'm here to pray over you, just to make sure that you get to the life that you actually desire and the life that you really, 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 really want. So I don't want you to overlook that, okay? And I don't want you to give yourselves reasons to stay where you are. Yeah, just make sure that you don't give yourself reasons. It's time to go. It's actually time to go. So make sure that you get into accountability. Yes, make sure that you get into accountability. Make sure that you get into groups of like-minded people. Make sure that your positioning is not just isolated, because the more you isolate yourself, the more you're not able to get out of the comfort zone. Sometimes it's hard to get out of the comfort zone alone. But when you subscribe to a group of mentorship, to a group of coaching, to a group of whatever it is that they're doing, and they're like-minded and they're pursuing that and they're becoming better, you realize that it's encouraging, it's infectious, and it's contagious, and you will also want better for your life. All right. So I hope that you have taken the recap from the previous show, and I hope that you have taken note and seriously of what we have talked about today, and what you can be able to do in order to get out of the comfort zone. I'll see you next time.